I'm bigcal, and welcome to my world. Today is another recent video games pickups video, and it is focused on Nintendo games, or well, Nintendo console system games. So, first up we have an N64 game, and it is one that I've wanted for many years. I believe it is also my top 10 most wanted games list that I did a couple of months ago. Link in the YouTube area and in the description probably. Yeah, so it is Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. Often cited as the best wrestling game of that generation. While most English-speaking people will remember No Mercy and WCW NWO Revenge, the Japanese side, they got essentially their version of No Mercy, but with Japanese wrestlers. So that's what this is, and yeah, it plays and looks just like No Mercy, but yeah, for some reason it's always cited as being the better game. I couldn't tell you why, because I haven't played that much of it. I've only played a little bit just to record the footage, and yeah, No Mercy style, so you know exactly what you're doing if you played No Mercy. There are English translation versions of this out there, so you can get a ROM with the English translation. You can also get a bootleg cartridge with the English translation on, but yeah, for now, I just have the original Japanese cartridge. It is getting very pricey because people know it's a good game and lots of people want it, and then you have to import it from Japan as well, so yeah, looking at a decent amount of money for it, complete in box probably. Don't even know how much that would cost, but yeah. So you're looking at upwards usually of £40-45 at the very least. That's what I paid for it, £45, and I'm very happy with that purchase. It's a big purchase, but it's a game I really wanted and have done for a long time. Right, now for some handheld games, we have the DS, and we have firstly Teleaddicts. Yes, I own the Wii version of this game, and I figured, because it was only like £1, I'd get the DS version as well. It's based on a game show here in the UK years ago that I never saw, don't remember hearing about, but apparently it was a thing. And of course we've got Noel Edmonds as the host. So yeah, it's all about TV, and it's a quiz. You've got different rounds where you might be timed and try and get the answer as quickly as you can, multiple choice. You'll watch video clips and have to answer questions based on it. Yeah, it's a decent enough time, and yeah, it's pretty good in handheld as well. You get all the videos and things. It's just, much smaller and compressed, but pretty fun. And another DS game that most people probably think I would never buy, but it is a Sonic game. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. The prequel to Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, the best Sonic game of all time. It's a kart racer, but you're not actually in karts, whatever. So it's a Mario Kart style game with Sonic and Sega characters, and yeah, it plays and controls just fine, but it's just not quite good as a sequel. Not quite there, but yeah, it's pretty decent as well on the DS handheld. I do own the Xbox 360 version, I think, because I got that version because it came with Banjo-Kazooie as an exclusive character. Yeah, but also have the DS version. I don't think this has any exclusive characters, but yeah. So, not bad, but play the sequel. And now for some 3DS games. I bought these in January. These first two anyway. January. That's how long I've had some of these games for pickups videos. So while it seems like, especially right now, I'm doing a bulk recording of a bunch of pickups videos, it seems like I'm buying a lot of games constantly, but it's usually I've got games from months ago that just haven't fit in a particular theme for a video, so I've been waiting. So I've got all these different ones, I've just been waiting for the right amount of games to do a video on. Yeah, anyway. So I got into the Persona series in December of last year, when the DIY gaming box landed on PlayStation 4, and I decided, just for the hell of it, get Persona 5 Royale. Or just Royal. Yeah, just Royal. And I played through it all through December. Absolutely loved it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try some more Persona games. I played Persona 4 Golden on PC. not quite as good. It's better in some places, worse in a lot of places. But yeah, still played through and enjoyed it. Yeah, and then I looked at the handheld games and thought, okay, these are probably going to be very expensive in a few years' time. I can see that already starting to happen. So I bought these, both brand new, still sealed, for around £30 each, which is, pretty much what they should have cost at release. So that was still good after all these years. Getting them pre-owned was actually going to cost me more. So that's crazy. Yeah, so it's the Persona Q series. Persona Q, Shadows of the Labyrinth, and Persona Q2, New Cinema Labyrinth. I've currently only started playing Persona Q1, just because I don't want to throw this in and start that when I'm playing this one. Yeah, so Persona Q has the characters from Persona 3 and Persona 4. I'm not familiar with Persona 3 because I've never played it. I'm looking forward to getting the chance to, because it's getting re-released on modern systems very, very soon. Yeah, played through Persona 4, so you can choose at the start which side you want to go with, and it affects the story, so I went with Persona 4 characters. And yeah, it plays very much like a Persona-style game. You're in some weird world where you can use your Persona, you go around dungeons. One of the unique things with it is that you draw your own dungeon. It's kind of like graph paper on the bottom screen for your map, and you add in icons and things for like doors and stairs and chests. At first, it seemed cool. After a while, I got sick of it. But thankfully, there is an option in there that lets it automatically draw. It'll draw the walls anyway. If you want to add doors and interesting spots, you just put those in yourself. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah. So, of course, you got your summon your Persona monsters and things like that, and you merge them together to get a better Persona. You have your items and equipment, just like you normally would with a Persona game. Yeah. So, interested to see where the story's going to go for this, and it's nice to get to know some of the Persona 3 characters before we get to play the game. Persona Q, much more focused on Persona 5 and their characters. I think it says there are also Persona 3 and 4 in there, but I think it's mainly focused on the 5th game characters, which you can understand because Persona 5 kind of blew up and, it probably reached more popularity than any of the other previous games, so it makes sense that they would capitalise on that. But yeah, Persona Q1 and 2, if you can get them cheap, definitely get them now for the 3DS, because yeah, they're going to go up in price, I guarantee it. And lastly, for the 3DS, I also bought this brand new, knowing it was going to go up in price, and it has. I got it again around £30. It was going to cost roughly the same pre-owned, so I thought I'd just buy it new, why not? And yep, it is Kirby Planet Robobot. So after playing through, no, it was when I started playing Kirby in the Forgotten Land, it was like, wow, this is fantastic, it's probably the best Kirby game, and I was talking to some people like, oh, Planet Robobot is heavily considered one of the best Kirby games. A lot of people still consider it the best. So I wanted to check it out, see what it was like, so I bought it, and I actually completed this game in between completing Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Yeah, and it's a very good Kirby game, absolutely. You've got your normal Kirby abilities and things, you can absorb enemies, powers and whatnot. But then you also have a mech suit that you can get in, and the mech suit can then combine powers and abilities with enemies and things. But it just feels not quite fully fleshed out. It's like it's almost there. Almost. It's like, oh, this is cool, but I wish there was more of it, and it was a bit bigger scale. But yeah, it's a fantastic game, absolutely. I had a ton of fun playing through it. But it's not my favourite Kirby game, and yeah, I definitely put it behind Kirby and the Forgotten Lands and Kirby Superstar. Yeah, so still amazing game. Try and pick it up if you can for cheap, because for some reason it's going up in price. I don't know if it's just 3DS games are going up in price now that they've basically stopped producing 3DS stuff. Or if it's just that Kirby's getting a bit more popular now. It's the 30th anniversary this year, and we're getting a lot of Kirby stuff, so people are going out trying to get the old games. Yep, Kirby Planet Robobot, very fun. And a Wii title now, one that I picked up randomly. Not heard of it before, looked interesting, grabbed it while I was in sex one day, and it is Blastworks Build, Trade, Destroy. And it's a side-scrolling space shooter style thing. You know, you're in a ship and you're shooting enemies on the screen. But what you can do is when you destroy an enemy, you can fly into it and it will add to your shape. But not in like just gaining an ability, or even like Freedom Finger on modern consoles where you're a hand and you can grab the enemies and then use them. No, they'll just attach to wherever they land on you. And you'll end up with just this crazy block building monstrosity with bullets flying everywhere, and if you take hits or whatever, one of your ship pieces that you've collected will fall off, so it's kind of like having extra hit points as well. You got more power. It's decently fun, and then of course there's a big deal with building your own levels and things, and yeah, the editor offers endless game creation possibilities, including your own bosses. And you can also unlock 4 games, including the original Tumiki Fighters, which I'm guessing this must be based on. The series, I've only just played through a single level to get it. Of course, there was a lot of online stuff when it came out. You could share your creations and things. So that's very cool. It's not particularly the best shooter. It definitely feels a little underdeveloped. It's not as polished as it could be, but it's still fun and it's cheap. And while you can't do the online thing, there might be some private servers that you can do. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun there, building your own content, I guess, and unlocking the previous games. Yeah, it's a really cool, interesting game. Perhaps a hidden gem on the system? No, probably not, but still fun. Wii U game. Now, you talk to most people about this game, and they hate it. They despise it. And then you get a couple of people who are like, no, it's actually really good once you get used to it. Yeah, so I bought it because it was dirt cheap. It was like £8, brand new, still sealed. Star Fox Zero for the Wii U. Yeah. So the majority of complaints I always hear about this game is the control scheme and how you use the gamepad. You move around and you're doing all this, and you've got the TV screen, then you have to look down to that screen and it can get confusing. But there are options to do a lot of it just with basic controls, but there are still parts where you'll need the both screens and a bit of movement. If you do that, it is a much better game. Just based on what I've played. It still isn't perfect, so I'm not going to say, oh, buy it, because if you change the controls, it's going to be wonderful and amazing. No, it's going to make it better, but you're probably still not going to like it that much. But I thought I'd give it a try. I do actually own the Star Fox Guard thing that originally sort of came bundled with this. You would get a double pack. I own it with a case. That just came with a download code in the box. Yeah, so now actually on the main game for it. So, yeah, I'll probably play through it again at some point in time. Next time I get my Wii U out, I might give it a go and just, skip past the tutorial and get into the main game, see what it's actually like. But for now, for £8, brand new sealed, I'm fine with that. It's not the best Star Fox game. Probably not the worst either, though, so yeah, it is what it is. Lastly, a recent release, and thankfully here in the UK we just got a regular retail release. In North America they have to go through limited run, which means if they want a physical release of this, they're going to have to wait until next year now, frankly, for it. But there are some cool limited edition versions that you can get through limited run. They are pricey, though. Yeah, you can still buy digital on all modern platforms. I have the Switch physical version here, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. And yeah, our version comes with a little pocket guide instruction book and a little pizza keychain. Yeah, so that's fun. And of course, you get the game. And the game is a spiritual successor, essentially, to the arcade game, or, Turtles in Time, Hyperstone Heist, those 16-bit era Turtles beat-em-up games. It is amazing. It is so much fun. I've already played through as Leonardo, my favourite, with the swords. Played through the entire story with him, leveled him up full. As you play through the story mode, you gain points and you level up and get new abilities, which is really fun. Sometimes you might get an extra hit point, or you might increase your special meter to be able to hold 2 or 3 charges. And with the 2 and 3 charges, you then get super more powerful abilities as well. So as well as just having your normal one where you might spin around, you'll have another one where you can fly into enemies, you'll have one when you jump in the air. Yeah, just different things like that. Really, really fun. It's just so much fun beating up all the Foot Clan soldiers and the robots and things and all the bosses, Rocksteady and Bebop. I mean, there, of course, you've got Shredder, you've got Krang, you've got I really struggled with Turtles villains after that, because, well, I watched the cartoon growing up, the 80s, early 90s one. I don't remember the villains. There was Baxter guy, who was sort of a fly. Yeah, lots of villains in there, and of course you also get like the ones from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, the original one back in the day, where everyone was like, is this Rocksteady and Bebop? No, they're weird other creatures. It turns out those are actually things. So yeah, those are in there. And there's some other stuff as well, some cool things. You play through, it's all the different characters, all the turtles. Of course, you then also have Splinter, April O'Neil, and you can unlock Casey Jones as well when you finish the game. So I am absolutely going to play through this game with every single character. It's just that much fun. Amazing game. If you can't get it physical at the moment, whether you're in America or whatever and you have to pre-order through limited run and wait a year, you can still get it digital, still have a blast. If you're in the UK, Europe, whatever, yep, buy a physical version and it's fantastic. So those are all my recent Nintendo console game pickups. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of my pickups here. Let me know what games you've got for Nintendo systems lately, and I'll see you again next time.